Hi there, I'm Lisa. I'm a full-time reseller on eBay, and on this channel I talk about what sold quickly out of my eBay store, and we also talk about the numbers that indicate whether an item is likely to sell quickly and looking for those items with really great sell-through rates. So I'm going to be sharing with you, I have 12 things, kind of 10 items and 2 bonus items, I would say, to show you today that sold within 30 days of being listed in my store. When I tell you the numbers, I'm going to tell you the exact search term that I used to look up comps on the item, and I'm also going to tell you what I spent, what I got for it, and how long it took to sell. And when I'm running these comps, I'm almost always filtering down to pre-owned and buy it now. So on every one of these items I'll show you today, these numbers represent the pre-owned and buy it now listings only. So first item is this Vera Bradley women's full-size backpack, and this one I managed to find the pattern name on, which was Canterbury. I typed in Vera Bradley backpack and it came up with 990 available and 1,132 sold. And actually there were many fewer of the full size available, so I thought that this would be a pretty good bet. I paid $5.57 for it and sold it for $28, and that took 18 days to sell. And I think I could have gotten a little more, but there were some condition issues, which I disclosed and took pictures of. These Keen Barika slip-on shoes. They were leather with purple details, kind of a little bit of wear, but not too bad, and they were a women's size 10. So just searching up Keen Barika brings up 9 available and 8 sold, so not quite an upside down sell-through rate, but still a strong sell-through rate. But what really made me want to get these was this size 10. Women's size 10 is kind of a sweet spot I've noticed with selling shoes, so I thought that that would actually raise the sell-through. And in fact, these sold in one day. They cost me $6.50 and I sold them for $38. And I'm sure you're all familiar probably with the brand Keen, but there you go, so you can see the logo on the bottom of these shoes. Next is a brand that was completely new to me. I believe this is pronounced Tyler Bowie, and it was just this cute little dress. Honestly, didn't really look very high quality. Not to say that it looked low quality, but I'm not actually sure why it stuck out to me, except that I didn't recognize the label, and I've been doing this long enough that when I see brands I've never heard of, a lot of times I will stop and just look them up. So to look up just Tyler Bowie dress brings up 66 available listings and 75 sold listings, so that is a good upside down sell-through rate. I paid $4.22 for this dress and sold it for $38, and it took 12 days to sell. Actually, let me just go back here. I'll show you, because this tag was new to me. It might be new to you too, so there you go. Pretty simple, Tyler Bowie, or Bow. Next is a pair of Theory pants. And these ones actually had a style name written on them, which is great. I actually sent this pair to the RealReal and they sent them back. They're pretty picky with Theory. I sent a few Theory pieces and they sent them all back. So I guess they're not accepting a whole lot of Theory right now. And I've had kind of a hit or miss experience with selling Theory myself on eBay, but when it does have a style name, that makes it really easy to look up comps, and you get really accurate comps. So I typed in Theory Thaniel Approach and got just 1 listed available right now and 11 sold, so that's pretty good. I paid $6.50 for these and I got $36 for them. They did take just 4 days to sell, and if you're not familiar with the Theory tag, there it is for you. Next up is this Lisa Nell jacket. This is another brand I had never heard of, and it turns out that these are handmade and they're each one of a kind, and they are for riding shows, like equestrian wear. So there were not a lot of comps to go on. I looked up Lisa Nell riding jacket and got just one available right now and two sold. And actually, since I just looked at these numbers, one of those sold listings is mine. The one that is for sale right now is listed at $450. It's much more blinged out, and just looking at kind of the colors on this and stuff, I determined it might be an older style. It also had a few minor condition issues, so I kind of had to make up a price on it, and I didn't want to aim super high. Here is the tag for you. So there you go. Equestrian stuff does tend to do well if you can find it. I don't come across it very often. I paid $6 for this jacket and I sold it for $60. It took 23 days to sell. Next up is a pair of jeans. These are Spanx. 5-pocket skinny is the style name, and I actually didn't know that Spanx made jeans, so I was happy to find these. I definitely keep an eye out for Spanx. A lot of the styles tend to do well. I don't usually get a whole ton of money for them. Some of them are more sought after than others. That being said, these got a lot of watchers on them, and they took 24 days to sell. I sold them for $28 and they cost me $5.57. And here is the Spanx printed on the back and the style name right next to it, which made it really easy. And when I searched up this particular style today, there were 5 available and 8 sold. Next up was a 2-item lot. So I got these cool capris. Cool is one of my favorite brands to sell. It actually tends to sell better in men's for me, but it will sell in both men's and women's. And also, these were only a size 2, so I was actually surprised that they sold so quickly, but I picked up 2 pairs. So there's this purple pair here, there's the cool logo there, and they had this cute embroidery on the back. And then here is the second pair. Same exact style. And here's the tag that was inside of that pair. The other pair actually had a slightly different look to the tag, but there you go. I'm sure that you have probably come across this brand before. I typed in cool capris and got 163 available and 120 sold. So not quite upside down, but I do think that capri numbers are probably going up a little right now, so the most accurate numbers will be sort of, you know, middle of summer numbers. But at any rate, I paid $4.32 for each pair, so $8.64 total, and sold them each for $20, so $40 total. And I did end up doing free shipping on one of the pairs, so shipping cost me a little bit more than I did have to ship them priority, so I probably invested my own $3 or something into shipping on that. But good sale. These sold for me in actually the same day that I listed them. Alright, now I've got this Kevin Hall sport dress. Here is another brand that I had never heard of. I don't think I've come across it. Let me show you the tag here. There you go, Kevin Hall Sport, Kevin with an A. I took time to look up comps for this in this store, and there weren't a lot of them. So I think there were 0 listed and 2 sold, and then I listed mine, and now the numbers are 0 and 3 sold. So it was a little bit of a risk when the numbers are that low, but I decided to go for it. I paid $6.35. And I got $34, and it took 1 day to sell. Next up is one of my absolute bread and butter brands, Duluth Trading Company. I talked a little bit about this brand in the last video that I made, and these were women's work pants, not the really heavy canvas duck pants, but kind of a medium weight. And what I liked about these, besides the brand, was that they're an 8 by 34, so a little bit on the tall side. And if I remember right, there were none in that size available when I listed these. So I did a search today just for Duluth black pants 8 and got 3 and 10 sold. So that represents any style of pants in that brand, but still I thought that they would be a good bet. Duluth has tended to sell very quickly for me. These took 25 days to sell, so they made it within that month span of time. I paid $6.57 for them, and I actually sold these for $25. This 32 represents a little bit higher than what I would normally price Duluth. I tend to get maybe between 22 and 30, depending on the style and the condition and everything. This buyer sent me a message asking questions, and I replied with an offer, so that is why the price that I accepted is lower than what is showing here. And let's see. I think this is the 10th item here, Flexies by Maidenform. I have never picked this up. Just a shaper, kind of a thick mini dress looking shaper. Here is the tag that was inside of it. And I looked up Flexies Maidenform dress and got 14 available and 15 sold. So pretty good sell through there. I paid $5.57, which was a bit high for this. I only sold it for $18. The prices of these items are not very high, but they do seem to sell consistently, so this took only 9 days to sell. Now the last two items I'm considering sort of bonus because they're kind of repeats from my last video. I had sold a gray pair of this exact same pant, and I mentioned in that video that I will even pick up these Lululemon men's pants if they're not in good condition. Or, I shouldn't say that. If they're not in perfect condition. I usually leave behind most flawed items unless I don't notice the flaw till I get home. So in this case, these had a stain. That's the logo. Let's see. These had a couple stains there. They did lighten up when I washed them, but they didn't come out entirely. Another really tiny stain there, and then they also had like some rough areas. You can see that one there at the pocket. And that wasn't the only one, so they had some condition issues, is what I'm saying. I put imperfect right in the title there, and I sold these the same day I listed them for $38. The numbers on these, if you type in Lululemon ABC Classic, 17 available and 142 sold, so extremely, extremely good sell-through rate there. I would not hesitate to list these in the $50 to $60 range in great condition. And last one is kind of another repeat from last week. I sold a darker pair, and I bought them at the same time, so I'm sure the same person donated them. They were both the same size. These are Big Star men's Voyager straight jeans, and they were both distressed a little bit differently. Here is the tag on that. It did say exclusively for buckle on one side, and then there is the tag. So Big Star Voyager straight, 41 available and 90 sold. I paid $4.25 for this pair, and I got $30 for them, and that only took 18 days. So that's everything that I have to show you. If you find these videos helpful, please go ahead and subscribe or give a thumbs up or a comment or anything like that to let me know that you're finding them helpful, and if there's any way I can make them even more helpful, let me know that too. Thanks a lot for watching.